All right, let's talk weather here as we get ready to head into the weekend for the Southeast. We're going to take this at a wider view because this is going to have implications all across the Southeast. I've been saying it all week. Let's not count anything out. And though I wasn't I wasn't really concerned about the snow. Still not really for Alabama. Georgia, different story here. So let's break this down. For Georgia, you have a winter storm warning. So it goes winter storm watch, winter weather advisory, winter storm warning. So basically, Atlanta along I-75, points to the east, have the best potential of seeing some good snow accumulations. In West Georgia, you're probably going to have some snow, and that could spill over into Alabama. Again, Alabama's not looking at the deeper snows, the 2+ inches. It's going to be isolated instances of maybe a ½ inch up to an inch. Again, not a total disaster like last week was for parts of Mississippi and Tennessee where you had that ice. It will not be that way. But we also have these alerts for, the cold. Extreme cold warning. Okay, that is issued when your temperature or wind chill is going to be 5 degrees or colder. You can see the extent of the state where that can be expected. You also have this cold weather advisory. That also is in place for the entire state of Alabama, for Georgia, as well as the parts of North Florida. So this is impressive air mass here. Absolutely, no doubt about it. But to what everybody wants to go, and we're really going to focus on the snow. It's going to be cold everywhere, but I'm going to go to a couple different models here. I'm going to start with the HRRR. This is a high-resolution rapid refresh. That's what HRRR stands for. It's just a model. It works much better as we get closer to the event. We're within 24 to 48 hours of most of the snow across the south. So we're just going to drag this forward. And once we get past about 3 in the morning, you start to get these bands of snow. Is this the answer key? Absolutely not. We have to watch this for trends. We have to take into consideration model biases, which every model has. If you look at them periodically, you know some models overdo the snow, some underdo the snow. This is the HRRR. It is one of the more aggressive snow models, but you can see there's a snow band back here in Alabama. So this would include places like Fayette, Jasper, Tuscaloosa, Hoover, Bessemer, McCalla, Alabaster, Pelham. And when we say included, this would be, a light snow shower early Saturday morning. Some heavier snow as you get up into Cherokee County, Etowah. This would be over into Rome, Georgia, all the way up to Chattanooga, Dalton, over to Gainesville, Cartersville, down to perhaps Kennesaw, northern Atlanta, and this is going to be early Saturday morning. So let's move this forward, okay? Now notice as we go through the day, the snow potential ends very quickly in Alabama. I'd say by noon, we're done. Georgia, it ramps up here. So now we're at about 11 o'clock, noon, 12:30 Eastern time, and you've got this pretty sharp cutoff from basically I-75, 575, and that whole corridor west looks to be kind of in the clear. But along that and east continues with the snow, which will be at times heavy, and you'll get this banding. What's going to end up happening is you're going to have these linear areas where the snow will accumulate inch plus, and then around on either side you're going to have much lighter totals. It travels the way snow works. It's going to go in bands. You'll have heavier spots. Very hard to depict this, but I do think if you're along that aforementioned corridor there, you're going to have a pretty decent chance of seeing some good snow accumulations. I think the higher totals are going to be in this part of the state as you head on over towards, say, Athens. So, you might get a snow day if you're over there at UGA, if you're in Clemson, if you're in Columbia. So some much better snow, even down in Statesboro. We could be looking at Georgia Southern getting some snow. So then we get to Saturday evening and overnight, and then our snow potential winding down. So this is a Saturday event, it would seem here. So I'm going to take that same model. Let's go to snow accumulation through the duration of the forecast here. We're going to drag this forward, and now I'm going to do what's called a pixel query, and that's taking this model data, and that's going to extrapolate basically what the model showed, how much snow we could potentially get. So we'll start in Alabama, places like Fayette, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, maybe up near Florence. You notice these totals are much less. It's beautiful. And folks in Alabama, I'm sure you want to see snow. This is not the shut down the state snow. Now Atlanta, potentially 2 inches. Rome, about a ½ inch. Gainesville, Athens, Peachtree City, we'll grab Kennesaw because I got some friends in Kennesaw. Half inch up to an inch. Again, very, very stark contrast between what'll be, 2 inches and a half inch of snow. So again, this isn't the answer key, but the trends have really, really pointed towards Georgia being the more active. We're going to go to a different model. This is the in-house Baron 3K. And again, same thing. It's a high-resolution model that's taking into account initialization data as we see it now, the parameters that are in place right now. We know it's cold. We know there's what's known as wraparound moisture. You have a center low, right, a surface low. And the way the winds flow around it, you have counterclockwise motion. So imagine, if you will, we put, a surface low here, okay? So your moisture that's coming in from the Gulf Stream, this body of water is relatively warm this time of year. That moisture comes up, around, and wraps behind this low. Well, if that Atlantic moisture can come in place here, you have a very cold air mass, okay? So there's your cold, there's your moisture, and there's your snow. So that's kind of in a nutshell how this works. And you got to have a really good setup across the south for this to work. So again, this is a look at the 3K totals. And very similar to what you saw with the previous model, the majority of the higher snow total is going to be along into the east of I-75 in Georgia. In Alabama, it's spotty at best. So that, again, that's what we're looking at here. This is Friday afternoon, Friday evening here. And I just want to give that overview. This allows me to be more in depth with respect to weather. So for folks in Georgia watching, what's up? Enjoy the snow. If you get it, I do think you'll see some snow falling at Marietta, Kennesaw, Atlanta, Rome, Gainesville, Athens. I look at those areas further east to be a little bit more of an impactful snow event. So if anything changes, we'll update you here. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. Bundle up. Either way, snow or not, it's cold.